So I'm Diana Maltz, and I'm really happy to be here. And I hope all of you are feeling a little bit less stressed about being here. um, so stress has been a thing for me in my whole life in terms of creating stress resilience for me and also for my clients. And it's come down to a couple of things. One is body chemistry, how your body chemistry is. That's going to affect how you react to stress. And the second thing is mind-body maintenance. So those are the things that it sort of came down to after 30 years. I'm actually in my 60s. So I've had a lot of chance to kind of work through these concepts. And I'm hoping that you'll find something helpful today with this. I'm going to tell you a little story about stress. It's kind of so here it is. There are 10 people, 10 men. They're hanging onto a helicopter and one woman. And the pilot says to them, okay, one of you has to let go, otherwise everyone's going to fall. So the woman goes on and says, all right, I'll do it. So she starts talking about how women are always the one that we're the one that always are martyrs. We're there, we help people. And at the end of her big discussion, the guys all applauded. So talking about stress, huh? So that's how I want to start today's talk with a little bit of levity. Okay, I chose this image dealing with stress in everyday life because this is sort of how it feels sometimes. You're just kind of pulling a little bit away each day in terms of things that are happening each day. And really, it's more about how we react to it and then the actual stress itself. We can't really always, we don't have control of that. And I have the pleasure of helping people build health and vitality with natural solutions. And I was on a Zoom call earlier today, and I just said how passionate I am about helping people, and especially during this COVID crisis. This is something I love to do. I've been doing it for 30 years, and I'm passionate about it. And I really like to help people find their way with this. And I say it deliberately in that way. It's a journey. All right, dealing with stress. What happens when you're under stress? And the question is going to be, can stress kill you? So pay attention. So what you're going to see here is more images, and then if we could not get this image on here, we're going to send this to you, by the way. So just pay attention to some of the images. This is about, that stress is about fight or flight. And no matter what the cause is, it has the same response. You're going to have a release of cortisol. And the problem is we do not turn that switch off. We have a hard time turning that switch off. And it affects your heart, and it affects your muscles, and it affects your stomach. Those are the three top things. So in Japan, they have a thing called koroshi. Koroshi is a term for death from overwork. And then this shows you like what happens. The stress has a continual effect on your blood vessels. The high cortisol levels affect your blood vessels, and it can cause a heart attack. Cortisol, cortisol, cortisol. It also affects the immune system, inflammation, your white blood cells, which is part of inflammation, disease, cancer. And this is interesting. I did this experiment with monkeys, and this shows you on the left is a normal vessel, on the right is a stress vessel. It even affects our memory. Chronic stress can affect your memory. And you can see the difference between the right and the left brain. It affects learning and memory. So it reminds me of days when I was in college and stayed up late and I couldn't remember a thing. So can stress kill you? These are things called, this is a DNA, and on the end of DNA is a thing called telomeres. Telomeres are like the shoestrings on the end of your shoestring. And the shorter they are, the faster the cell dies. The more cells die, the more as you get older, and stress increases, reducing the size of the telomeres. Good news is oxytocin to the rescue. This is your body chemistry that I was talking about earlier. Causes the blood vessels to relax. And how do you get oxytocin? It's called the cuddle hormone. And it's about working as a team, working together. So it's great to be thinking about that in these kind of times. So work together, and I think that's the end of this video. And we'll send this to you. Thank you, Maggie.
And let me pull back up the PowerPoint.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So can stress kill you? So put in the chat box, yes or no. What do you think? Just take a moment and just from what you learned in that brief moment, can stress kill you? Okay, so I'm your hostess. We're going to talk about what causes stress, with some stress busting tips and some nutritional suggestions for dealing with stress. So as I talked about earlier, I said before, there's 3 things that I felt really important for your lifelong journey to have stress resilience. How to monitor your body chemistry and your mind and body maintenance. So let's talk about more about that. All right. Does stress get you down? Okay, I want you to take a moment, and we just saw a little video on how stress can kill. If you put your hand on your forehead and your hand on the back of your head, the forehead is your higher brain cells. So this is your kind of like your parasympathetic or your relaxing part of your nervous system. The back here is really your stress response. So that gets you thinking quick, that gets you up in the morning, and we need it. But you want to balance between these two. When you take a breath in through your nose and then out through your nose, so do this with me. Breathe in through your nose and then out through your nose. You start stimulating more the creative, more the oxytocin, more the cuddle hormone, and it kind of balances out the response, and you're not releasing so much cortisol. So on a scale of 1 to 10, when you did that breath work, write down on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 meaning no stress, you're sleeping and you're relaxed, to 10 when you're really stressed out. Write in the chat box, 1 to 10, where are you at the moment after you took that nice breath? And I want to explain one more thing about the breath. You notice when you're running fast, like for the train or the bus or something, you're breathing through your mouth. That's your stress hormone. The body will automatically, without you thinking about it, because you're running, it's going to stimulate the stress hormone. So if you can close your mouth and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, that stimulates the higher centers of the brain. So that's relaxation, that's strategy, that's cooperation. So what I'm doing today is I'm giving away a gift called Stress Relief Complex. If you put your number in the chat box, Maggie will draw a name out, and at the end I will send that to you as your gift for joining us. And that particular product works within about 20 minutes. It's a herbal formula that relaxes your body. So I gave you two tricks here. So one is the breathing, and one will be the Stress Relief Complex. All right, so what kind of things trigger stress? All right, so right now with COVID, things have kind of switched a little bit. So, I mean, majorly, actually. And we really don't know what's going to be happening in terms of our jobs and stuff. So, some of the ones are being unhappy in the job you're in. People are working like really, I don't know if you noticed, they're working longer hours when they're working from home. You don't have that time when you're in that drive from home to work. That gives you a chance to kind of wind down. So people are working longer hours and have more responsibility now because of what's going on now. Moms are working from home and they're homeschooling. People who are essential workers are working under dangerous conditions. And people are insecure about their advancement or risk termination. And then also giving speeches can cause some stress. Like today for me, because my computer decided to die. So there you go. true, real life stories. All right, the Center for Disease Control says 75 to 90% of trips to the doctors are stress related. So think about the last time you went to the doctors or called the doctors. What was the reason that you called besides just a regular checkup? So as I was saying before, working mothers who are working from home, and they have the highest degree of stress because now they're juggling their children being home, and they're also working from home. That's a lot of stress. And then 1/2 of Americans between the ages of 18 and 49 experience everyday stress. All right, here's some signs of stress. I'm going to put these up here. See what kind of things you can relate to. I've heard the best description I've heard about like a short-term stress sign, like a headache or something. Think about it. Do you clench your jaw? That causes a lot of tension in your jaw, in your neck, and that is about really holding on to a thought that what is going to happen next. If you can just take the lower part of your jaw right here, let that drop, and that will cause a little bit of less pressure on your system. So fatigue is a sign of stress, difficulty sleeping, concentrating, upset stomach, irritability. I guess we know these, right? So here's the thing. We want to think about, we have the control to offset these so that we don't have to experience issues down here. Depression is just, like a longer term feeling like you're out of control. High blood pressure. Think about when you go to the doctors and the thing called the white coat syndrome. You go to the doctors, it's going to take your blood pressure, you're afraid what the results are going to be, and your pressure goes up. So they tell you to wait like 5 minutes and your pressure changes dramatically. That's the power of that pause between coming to the office and then having that 5 minutes before the blood pressure is taken. Heart disease, we talked about karoshi in the earlier, heart attacks, karoshi, weight gain, heartburn, because digestion is the first thing that gets shut down under stress when it's continual, and then skin problems. Those are long-term signs. And I help people work through some of these things when they do have them, and I like to offer them natural solutions to these things. That's what I do. That's my focus. Okay, body chemistry. So we're doing Nutrition 101. I talked about the long-term journey for stress resilience, right? So it starts off with your cells. We have 1 trillion cells in our body. And each cell needs vitamins, minerals, and proteins to build and repair every day. And they need 6 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. They don't need Velveeta. They don't need potato chips. They don't need popcorn. They need fruits and vegetables. So we need them every day, and that really affects how your health is, because there's only 2 causes of disease. So think about that, just 2 causes. 1 million diseases, 2 causes. That is not enough nutrition deficiencies, and then too many toxins. So your power is that you can do something about this. That's the power of this, and I think it's really powerful. All right, so proven ways to fight stress. So here's a couple of them. So one is avoiding caffeine. When I was in my 20s, which is 40 years ago, I started having a lot of anxiety and palpitations. And I found out that I had a mitral valve prolapse. However, the minute I stopped drinking so much caffeine throughout the day was the minute I stopped having the palpitations. So it can actually accelerate any stress responses. So sometimes you don't know if it's an organic cause in your body or some of the things that you're doing. And that's what I talk to people about. What kind of things are you doing when you have these things? Physical activity. So we all know we need to move, and it's more difficult in these times. The gyms are closed, a lot of pools are closed, but it's very important to find a way to get physical activity. Stretching, yoga, weights, there's plenty of YouTube videos, and I can help people with that also because I'm a fitness teacher. Getting more sleep is very important. Having someone to talk to is very important. So I don't know about you. We've been doing a lot of family Zoom things each week, and I'm telling you, I love it, and I feel like in a lot of ways I've gotten closer to people thanks to that. Keeping a stress diary or a de-stress diary, and then learning to say no. Okay, learning to say no. That's a tough one, right? We really try to, stiffen our upper lip and say, I can do everything. But sometimes it's good to say no. So that's a really interesting one to think about. Okay, Maggie. Here's some more tips about stress. And this one's a little bit clearer to see, I think. This is Dr. McManus. So as you can see, she's talking about cortisol also. Okay, so she talked a lot about cortisol in there, and we're going to review some of the things she said in a second. Thank you. Okay, so simple exercise. When I talk to people, when I'm doing coaching with them, we talk about exercise, what will fit into their life, and when will you do it? So I have one client who at 8 o'clock every night, she found this thing on YouTube that she does at 8 o'clock every night. That was great for her. Somebody else like me, I like to do things first thing in the morning. So it depends on when you want to do it, when you'll stick to it. Eating a good breakfast. Fiber and protein are things that are missed a lot in breakfast. Eating a bagel, which I love, is not going to sustain you all morning. So you really want to have a good protein, and you want to have enough fiber first thing in the morning. It will last you all day. I work with a company called Shackley, as you can kind of guess, and there's a spring drink we have called a Life Shake. And what I did with it when my kids were growing up is I would put the shake in muffins so that they would have protein in the morning, so that they could be alert all morning to have because they would leave the house at 7 a.m. and then they wouldn't have lunch till like 11. So I wanted them to have sustained energy and keep their energy level even throughout the day. That also helps with cortisol levels, fiber and protein. Rest is important. Sometimes you have to plan your rest. So there's a lot of strategies for that, and I work with people with that. Taking time to relax, that can be a tough one, right? So taking that time to relax is really important. Your body, the stress level should go up and it should go down, and should go up and should go down. We need to be stimulated. We need to grow as people, but we need to have time to integrate it and that kind of thing. So it really is important. Also to spend time with people, that helps you relax. And that was the oxytocin I mentioned in the earlier video. And avoid vices. So pick your vice. She also recommended taking a multivitamin and a B, and I'll explain why that's important. So if you look at this, these are foods that help your body maintain a certain pH. Why is that important? You've probably heard that a certain diet can be an anti-inflammatory diet, correct? I'm sure most of you have heard that. If you haven't, we can talk about it. And what that does, it reduces inflammation, keeps your cortisol levels more even. It's anti-inflammatory. And it's really difficult to get every single one of these things in your body every single day. So that's why they recommend, like, and for example, it's recommended that people go vegan, right? The problem with being on a vegan diet is people don't have enough B vitamins. That's one of the first issues. And that's one of the reasons why she recommends for everybody more of a plant-based diet and a multivitamin and a B complex. So this is the one that I recommend, and I like it because, let's show you why. There's 7 studies on it saying that it improves heart health, immune health, bone and joint health, physical energy, healthy skin and nails, and has 23 essential vitamins and minerals. And I've spoken to people who have worked at water treatment plants and have seen Centrum and Theragram in the water treatment plants after they were supposedly digested. These are digested, they're food-based, and they're really wonderful vitamins. I've worked with this company for like 30 years. I love them. And then for people that want a little bit more health, for a little bit more optimal health, if you see on the side, this is like eating 7 medium oranges, 8 cups of milk, 8 servings of steak. Now, there's not actually steak in there. Somebody asked me that yesterday. Does that have 8 servings of steak in it? No, but it has the nutritional value of that. 27 servings of almonds, 17 bananas. So this is like a really comprehensive, and it's called bio-optimized because it goes to the right place at the right time. It was designed to do that. This is a B vitamin that's fantastic. Why is B so important? When you have stress, your adrenal gland puts out a hormone called adrenaline, and also cortisol. It has to have nutrients to be able to do that. B vitamins are really involved with that. And sometimes when you're hungry for B vitamins. Interesting. I thought it was cookies. It's cellular energy. Let me just move this over a little bit if you can see this. Hold on a second. It's called the happy vitamin. It helps with your nervous system. It helps with digestion. It's a fabulous thing to do for yourself. And then this is the thing I'm giving away. So for those of you who still want to be engaged in that, this is called the Stress Relief Complex. It's got 4 herbs in it. And it really helps in terms of keeping your cortisol levels down and helps you keep alert and relaxed. People use it a lot for exams and just times when they're really feeling unnerved like now. It's a really good thing to be doing every day. And within 20 minutes, you feel the difference. It's kind of impressive. That's not kind of impressive. It's very impressive. It's clinically tested, and you stay relaxed. And this is a study that was done with it. So people were more relaxed, they were more alert, they were less tense, better concentration. It's non-drowsy. It's got a hormone called ashwagandha. It's an herb actually, and it helps. It helps balance the body so that you just feel more able to handle things. You don't feel tired. You just feel like you can handle it. So this works within about 20 minutes. And just if you put that you're interested in being in the drawing, this is what you're going to be winning. So these 2 are my Stress Busters package. So Stress Relief Complex and B Complex. And they're not expensive, just so you can see that. Many times I get people started on this particular program. So I'd like to get people balanced. So we were talking about body chemistry. When our bodies are more balanced, say you're eating more pH balanced foods, which is plants and vegetables, right? We have a 7-day cleanse. So that little green box there is a 7-day cleanse. And what that does, it gets your body, the pH of your body balanced. It's amazing how you can handle things better. It's crazy. And it really works really well. And then there's the strip of vitamins I showed you, and then there's a protein also. So a lot of people stay on the strip and the protein. And this is a special deal. And 30,000 of us have done this so far, and it's been amazing. And I would love for you to feel amazing. That would be a great thing. So the reason why I bring this up is because this is a great way, a 30-day jumpstart to feeling better. If you can get your body chemistry aligned and working more balanced, it's a gift. It's really a gift. So I'm going to just summarize it up by saying, so it's a lifelong journey. It's not just one thing to do. It's adjusting your body chemistry, which is through nutrition. That really helps amazingly. And it's mind-body maintenance. What I mean by that is learning to say no, doing a stress diary. Those are all things that help your mind relax and not get so into the stress cycle. Body is with exercise, body maintenance. So those are like your 3 keys for doing that. So I would love to give each one of you a 30-minute free consultation if you would like, and I would just find out what your goals are. So my goal is to help people build health and vitality with natural solutions. And thank you.
Okay, thanks, Diana. We can open it up for Q&A now, and so if anyone has a question, they can use the chat box or also email info@savvyladies.org. And we had 2 questions come in that were pretty similar, so I'm going to combine these for the question of, I say that I'm going to exercise, but my feet never follow, and which I can relate to as well. Another question, I haven't been able to do as much physical activity during the quarantine. Do you have some good tips for getting a workout in when you can't go to the gym, or when you say you'll do it but you don't end up doing it?
Decide what time of the day do you have more energy. That's the first thing to think about. When do you have more energy? So for me, it's first thing in the morning. I can help you kind of go through different kinds of exercise personally if you want me to do that, because everybody's a little bit different. But in a general way, on YouTube, there's a lot of fabulous YouTube videos. And I would just start off with like 10 minutes. Do like a 10-minute thing first thing in the morning. Kind of get your body going. A lot of people recommend that, but some people are better in the evening. Think about when will you stick to it better. To get yourself to do it, probably you need more energy. I mean, things are really difficult right now, so that's why all the supplements and the diet thing is really helpful to give you the energy to want to do it. You need to have energy to want to do it. That's what I have found anyway. And I find that with a lot of my clients too. Once they feel better, when people feel better, they do a lot more things than they thought they could do. It's incredible. Write yourself a note, that to remind you to do it. And get some guidance. Like, talk to me and get some guidance in terms of what exercise would be good for you. What have you done in the past? What do you love? What do you love doing? Do you love to dance? There's a lot of things out there that are on YouTube that can help you with that. Does that help?
Okay, I believe that helps. I will let you know if there's a follow-up in the chat. Those are good tips, though. So we can move on to the next question, which is, when I'm stressed and I know I need sleep, I usually can't fall asleep because I'm so stressed. Have some tips for that?
Yes. So we talked about breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. One of the things that does, it kind of stimulates, it gets your mind off your cycle of thinking that I can't sleep. So if you're breathing in for like a count of 4 through your nose, and you're breathing out for a count of 4 through your nose, you can't be thinking about I can't sleep, because you got to count. And if you're breathing in through your nose, you're creating that whole parasympathetic, which is the relaxing part of your brain. Your body will do it. You just have to tell it what to do. You have to train it. So you're just breathing in for 4, and then breathing out for 4. And then you're doing that over and over again. That starts stimulating relaxation. That's one way you can do it. You can do stretching at night. I don't know if you stretch at night, but if you do some stretching at night with some nice music, anything to do to get you out of the cycle of thinking I can't sleep. The other thing I'd recommend is just relax your jaw. Sometimes we're just holding on so tight that, we're not relaxed. Just consciously thinking about relaxing that jaw. That affects your whole body.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Again, it's very personal, but hopefully they help. These are things you can get started with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, Diana. And another question for you was asking about the stress diary that you had mentioned. Do you have some tips or suggestions for getting started with that?
I do. I just found a wonderful diary that was just the simplest. Okay, two things. One is there's a book called Hello Fear, fabulous book. I would recommend it. Michelle Poler. And if you want more information on that, let me know. It's a fabulous book. It's just a value. It's like I'm blown away by it. So that might be one thing. And follow her, Michelle Poler. And the second one is a book out that just has something about from your heart, and I can share that with Maggie. And it's every day she has a sort of a question you ask yourself, and then you just answer it. It takes you 1 second, and it shifts your head. It's great. It's a simple way to do a diary.
Okay, great. And I'm also seeing in the chat a recommendation for headspace meditation for sleep.
That's right. There's a lot of good meditation. There's Calm. There's Headspace. Yeah, there's a lot of good things out there. And I think in Calm there's some yoga stretches and stuff like that too. There is meditation teachers like Tara Brach. She's wonderful. She's another one that you want to look up in terms of just more mindset kind of things. That's where I got that joke from. That was from one of hers. She stole it. There's another one too. There's a lot of them that are really nice. You have to stick to it. It's funny, when I started doing that a number of years ago, 5 minutes, I said, I can't do that. And this is before COVID. I can't do this. I can't do. So 5 minutes. 5 minutes built to like a half an hour, 45 minutes for me now. So, and I'm really happy I do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Diana, it looks like we have one more question for you, which is saying, I'm worried that my sister has been extremely stressed during COVID because her kids have been home with her and her income was cut in half.
Wow.
What are some things I can suggest she do to not be so stressed, meaning suggest for someone else to do?
It's nice to care about her. I think being with her, I think, what you can do? I've done this with people, and just ask them if they want to meditate with you for 5 minutes, like twice a week. Do it over the phone. You can do it over the phone. It gets her talking to you and being with you, because it's about her feeling like she's not alone, and it will get her meditating. I think that would be a really great way to just get her started, and then just letting her talk. She's going to have to find her own way with this, but she needs people around her. We don't think about, when we're feeling stressed, as I was talking about, this is your strategy part of your brain. This is your stress part. If we're back here, we're not thinking about solutions. So getting her meditating or getting her just talking will get her into that right part of her brain where she can kind of strategize what would be good for her.
Okay, great. Thanks, Diana. Those are some really helpful tips, and we will be sending a follow-up email to everyone with more resources and links and those videos, as well as if you'd like to watch those with sound this time. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and I want to thank you so much, Diana, for a great presentation and helping us work through stress during these stressful times. And we will be sending an email to the winner, so if you can look for an email from us later today, we'll be contacting you about that. Thank you so much for doing that as well, Diana.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Diana.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.